YouTube, what's the story? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is talking all things 2026 and goal setting. So it's usually around this time of year where most people, if not everybody, tend to start setting themselves some new goals coming into the new year, new me, new year resolutions, the whole shebang, okay? Not just for the gym, but professionally as well. So I'm going to speak through a little bit of how I do this, and give you some recommendations on how you should do it as well. There's a couple of frameworks to follow, okay? But typically this time of year, when everybody starts looking forward, for you to project for yourself what you think can be achieved in 2026 and set some goals, you also have to look backwards. One of the biggest reasons for looking backwards is to be grateful and feel actual gratitude for what has happened in the year or years previous, and what you've done for yourself in the year or years previous as well. So first things first is take stock of 2025, and maybe a little bit before that as well. I've taken stock today and yesterday over what's happened in 2024 and 2025 and learn from them and give that as a little bit of a booster as to what can be achieved going forward, okay? I'm going to break down a couple of ways that you can set goals for yourself. One predominant way that I've done it time and time again over the last couple of years, because I'm guilty, for better or for worse, consistently setting goals, whether I achieve them or whether I don't achieve them. I'm always looking to do something new or something different, and to kind of level up and step above and beyond of what has already happened. And that's the name of the game, isn't it? That's that 1% better every single day over 365 days puts you 38% better, or 38 times better off than when you started. I got that from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, okay? So when I set goals, specifically around the new year, I always like to think personally as well as professionally. I think that when you think personally and professionally, whatever it is, you can use the discipline, the motivation from achieving something personally and bring that over into a professional standpoint as well. Your brain doesn't really care or know whether it's personal or whether it's professional when you're working towards something. It just knows that you're working towards something, so you can use that to your advantage in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Some examples for me, because I think you will learn better from examples that I'm setting. So some personal goals that I'm setting for 2026. I want to move abroad again for an extended period of time by myself. I've lived abroad in a couple of different places for quite a while. I've never done it by myself. It's going to be very uncomfortable. It's going to be very different. I work alone a lot of the time, but I'm still surrounded by family. I still see friends. I was still playing sports, seeing the lads and stuff like that. When I'm moving abroad this time, it's going to be way out of my comfort zone. So that's probably the biggest one that I'm setting. The second one is to keep leveling up my health. So as I said at the start of the video, to look backwards. If I look way further back, yes, I've been training really hard and dialed in on my nutrition 95% of the time, 90 to 95% of the time since 2021. But I feel like in 2025, when I actually deep dive into 2025 for me, I started to take things to the next level in regards to consistent body composition, because the back end of being in good shape for me means that I'm really disciplined at that time. I've started getting my bloods done to dive deeper into my own knowledge of how I'm performing internally as well. And then my mental health is the best that it's been in quite a long time as well, which is no surprise to me, because when you're really disciplined and stuff and you're constantly trying to improve or achieve something, that levels up the mental aspect of things, as well as doing or completing, I should say, 2 bouts of counselling therapy this year, which I only finished up there last Saturday. So things are in a really good spot at the minute from a personal standpoint, but I want to keep that going, and I want to keep that trajectory going as well. And what that would look like in 2026 is getting consistent bloods done and keeping improving my physique. So that's going to be internal and external, and then also my daily gratitude, my every now and then journaling and stuff like that, to keep my mental and my physical, external and internal, in tip-top shape. Professionally, revamp CBS. I joined a mentorship midway through this year. Essentially fell in love with it, how the mentorship works and how it offers what it offers, and I'm trying to bring that into CBS. I have never seen any other coaches offer it the way that I want to offer it, and when I do things like this, I don't do it by half. So yes, it's going to be a little bit of a slower longer project because I want it done absolutely perfectly. And then the second one, which isn't the second professional, which is the fourth goal, which isn't new, but I just have that burning fire inside me, is to fill my books, completely fill my books before CBS expands and grows into the monster that it will be someday. Okay, now that's enough about me. For you, I think that it's really, really important. I really do think it's very important that if you're setting yourself goals and you're going to take it serious this year round, and it's not just going to be a January rush and falling by the wayside by February, that you need to set yourself 4 goals, just like I have, 2 personal and 2 professional, because as I said, the discipline and the motivation from striving towards one will serve you in striving towards another, because your brain does not know, on a really basic standpoint, whether it's personal or professional, your brain just knows that you are firing neurons and that you're working towards something really, really meaningful to you. Okay, so some examples of professional goals that you could set yourself. The most obvious one could be a promotion in work, whatever that looks like for wherever you're at in life. You could just go from A to B, or you could try and go from A to D by the end of the year. Okay. Second one could be finding a totally new job if you're feeling unfulfilled in what you're currently doing. I've been there and I've done it, where you're waking up and you're dreading going to work and you're dreading being in work, and all you're looking forward to is Friday at 3, 4 or 5 o'clock when you can knock off and you can have 2 days to yourself. That's not how you should live. So I strongly consider that if that is how you're living and how you're feeling, and you're living for the weekends and then wasting your weekends because you're trying to make the most of it, you should probably look for something different. And then one that I always love and I always encourage, and I actually have a couple of conversations with people every now and then about starting a business. Everybody has these grandiose ideas where they see something, they feel like they could be fulfilled from it, but it's essentially building their own business. That is one of the biggest goals that you can have and start working towards, and there's no better time to do that than at the start of a new year, because you know the wave of excitement that brings with itself. Some personal ones. Most people could do this. Like coming back from Australia, I realised how much obesity there is in Ireland, which is crazy. I'm not sure if people will agree with that, but getting back to full health, getting back to the physique that you were once in, or you really want to be in, which is a continuous journey. You'll never actually get there. There'll always be something different, but it's one of the best goals that you can have, because it not only serves you physically, externally, but physically, internally as well, for your gut health and organ health and everything else that goes along with that. Taking consistent action on building some relationships. Maybe you've lost a couple of mates, drifted from a couple of mates. Maybe the life at home isn't the best. These are all things that you do and you can have control over. And then maybe picking up a new hobby. When I was thinking about this, one of the nicest hobbies that I've picked up would be paddle, a sport, really enjoyable, not that difficult, but it's also quite social as well. So there's 6 examples. Pick your own 4, 2 personal, 2 professional, and absolutely run with that to see what you can come up with. So I haven't spoke about this yet. Any of my CBS members that have been with me since last year will remember me harping on about this a lot at the start of the year. They all set their own goals, but it's all done through a framework, and the framework is called SMART. Okay, S, specific; M, measurable; A, achievable; or relative; and T, time bound. All of your goals need to fit into this framework. Now, I think it's best if I give you an example. Okay, so I'll go with one of the examples that I have said first. So the one and the biggest one that's kind of most excites me from a personal standpoint would be living abroad solo for an extended period of time. Okay, now to put that through the framework, S, move back to Bali. I love it. It's the place where I'd probably be happiest in life, because weather, people, gyms, lifestyle, cost of living, I just really, really enjoy it there. So S, specific, move back to Bali. M, measurable. How can you measure it? Can you book your flights? Can you book your accommodation? Achievable, yes, I've been there before. Relative, is it relative to what I'm doing? Yes, I can work there. I've done it for about 6 months already, all in. And time bound, April. I want to be over there for the start of April. That is exactly how you would put it down. Okay, so I want you to run your 4 goals through that for me, please. Now, if anybody wants a hand with them, obviously, you know, my inbox is always open for any questions about anything like this. I've been doing this a pretty long time, so I can kind of just breeze through it. Not everybody can do that, and I really, really understand that as well. Some pro tips to finish out this video. Okay, so number one is write your goals down. Take them out of your head, put them on a piece of paper. That puts them into a little bit more of a concrete position for you. If they're down on paper, you're more than likely going to start working towards them. If it stays in your head as a thought, it's just going to be one thought out of between 12 and 15,000 thoughts that you are going to have every single day. Do you think that you're going to remember that? Is it going to take front and center place in your mind? More than likely not. It will just become an afterthought as it's spoken about. The second and last one is make a lock screen version of your goals. I'm big on this. Anybody who would have been around me probably would have seen it. For some reason my lock screen isn't working at the minute, but what I would do is jump on Canva and throw a couple of them in. For example, there's my daily affirmations on my lock screen. When I wake up in the morning, it's the first thing I see. I'm just trying to find my goals there. So I've got all of the goals that I want to achieve over the next couple of years written on my lock screen. So I'll wake up, flick onto my affirmations, and then flick onto this and leave that there for a while. When I'm bored, or if I need to get off my phone, I'll change my lock screen and sit it there. Okay, so just a reminder that new year, new me never lasts that long. New Year's resolutions never last that long because they are rushed and they're thought of in the first couple of days of January. They don't actually mean anything to you a lot of the time. Set yourself 4 goals before the end of this year, 2 personal, 2 professional. Run all of them through the SMART framework. Make sure that they fit into the framework because it gives you almost a concrete plan of what the next step is. For example, to live abroad solo for an extended period. I have the location. I know it's measurable. Is it achievable? Yes, I've already done it. All I need to do now is book my flights, book my accommodation, and then I'll end up being there, and that'll be one of the biggest goals ticked off for however long I go over there for. So hopefully you've learned a couple of things out of this. It was a one-shot video. I tried to do that on purpose. I'm going to leave every stutter in here, every little break in here as well. So thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.